やっぱ誰かにやったらそうそうそうはいはいはいはい
MOC を受けてサインするのがありましたよね。当然、昨年10月のサミットで観光分野で協力しようというのがありまして、それを受けていろいろ文言をやりましたけど、文言の中身は固まってますね。ただ、サインするところがですね、深さ非常にできるので、
How do I say konnichiwa?
Konnichiwa.
Thank you very much. Arigato.
Oh, wonderful. So you've got the lapel mic, you know?
उसके अंदर मेरा कार्ड है. Arigato. Arigato.
Very right.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Ah, yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Sorry for the inconvenience. And I was looking at you.
Ah, io non so più nella
A very good morning to all of you. Your Excellency, Mr. Shigete Kumu, the Commissioner of DGA, Mr. Parvez Dewan, Secretary, Ministry of Tourism, Government of India, His Excellency, Mr. Takeshi Yagi, the Ambassador of Japan to India, Mr. Roichi Matsuyama, President, Japan National Tourism Organization, Mr. Hiromi Kagawa, Vice Chairman, JATA, Mr. Tatsuro Nakamura, President of JATA, and Mr. Devendra Singh, the Economic Advisor, Ministry of Tourism, Government of India. It's a pleasure for us to welcome you all to this first ever India-Japan Tourism Expo in the National Capital Region. We are extremely grateful, sir, to the Japan Tourism Agency, to the Japan Association of Travel Agents, to the Japan National Tourism Organization, and all friends from the Japanese tourism companies who have taken the trouble to be here and take the first step in the direction of public and private partnership to boost tourism between both the countries. I also wish to thank the Ministry of Tourism, Government of India, and the State Tourism Departments for their excellent support to be a part of this initiative. I hope the discussions that have been planned for today and tomorrow will lead to some good recommendations and ideas that can be incorporated in the tourism policies of both countries to benefit the tourists. I could now request to please present a bouquet of our appreciation to the honored guest, to Mr. Shibete Kubo. Shri Parvez Dewan, Secretary of Tourism, Ministry of Tourism, Government of India. His Excellency, the Ambassador of Japan to India, Mr. Takeshi Yagi. Mr. Roichi Matsuyama, the President of the Japan National Tourism Organization. Mr. Devendra Singh, the Economic Advisor to the Ministry of Tourism, Government of India. And Mr. Hiromi Tagawa, the Vice Chairman of the Japan Association of Travel Agents. He's also the Global President of JTB, one of the global giants in the world of travel. And finally, it's Mr. Tatsuro Nakamura. If he's here, I don't know his company. And we also have with us our guest, Mr. Subhash Goyal, the chairman of the STIC group, who is one of the and the president of the IR, Association of Travel Organizers. Since we are running against time, we are short on it. I would now set the ball rolling and request the Commissioner JTA to please share his thoughts with us. Mr. Shigeto Ko.
Good morning, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I am Shigeto Kubo, the Commissioner of the Japan Tourism Agency, JTA. I am excited to be here today with an aspiration to open a new era of tourism promotion between India and Japan. This is my first visit to India, but I have had a strong personal interest in India since my childhood. After I read former Prime Minister Nehru's biography as a schoolboy, whenever I am asked which world figures I respected most, I always answer Prime Minister Nehru of India. Around the same time, I was strongly impressed with an article written by a Japanese tourist who visited the Taj Mahal at night. I tracked down that travel journal in a library, so I will quote from it. When I visited at night, the moon was full. The Taj Mahal was bathed in moonlight and was a rich bluish white, and the effect was so mysterious it was difficult to distinguish where the marble started and where the light of the moon left off. Fireflies flew among the cypresses in the fawn garden, with their purple tails shining, and frogs floated in the pond. The beauty of it was out of this world. For 50 years, I have wanted to visit India, and that long-cherished dream has finally come true. Although this trip is short, still I am overjoyed that I am at last on Indian soil. I sincerely hope that many Japanese citizens will share my joyful feelings through traveling to India. And I also hope that many Indian tourists will visit Japan to share us its very different beauty. In 2013, the number of foreign tourists visiting Japan exceeded 10 million people for the first time. The Japanese government is hoping to welcome 20 million visitors in the future. And Prime Minister Abe and cabinet ministers have created the action program for the realization of Japan as a tourist-oriented country to achieve our goal. Now we are actively working on promoting international tourism exchange India has an important position within our action program. As of 2014, we have recognized India as having great potential for increasing tourism in Japan. Today, I am so pleased to host the Japan-India Tourism Exchange Public-Private Forum, and especially I would like to express my sincere appreciation many key figures in the tourism field, as well as India's Ministry of Tourism. Tomorrow, a signing ceremony for a memorandum of understanding on Japan-India tourism cooperation will be held at India's Ministry of Tourism. I am confident that both the Japan-India Tourism Exchange Public-Private Forum and the Memorandum of Understanding will serve as a significant base for increasing bilateral tourism exchange in the future. Large numbers of Indian tourists have been visiting Japan recently. In 2012, the number of tourists visiting Japan from India reached a record high of around 68,000 people. And the record was again broken in 2013 when the figure topped 70,000. In 2012, around 220,000 people visited India from Japan. To be honest, I envision Japan becoming a major destination for Indian tourists. In order to convey the attractiveness of Japan to Indian citizens, the JTA will participate in the South Travel Mart 2014 to be held in Delhi from January 29 and the Outbound Travel Mart 2014 to be held in Mumbai from February 7. And I have initiated discussions within the Japanese government about relaxing visa requirements for Indian citizens. This will make it easier for Indian people to visit Japan. Japan has 4 beautiful seasons, delicious cuisine, and safe and clean cities, all of which I believe constitute our Japan brand that we Japanese should be proud of. To experience Japan's appeal, I hope you all actually visit my country and enjoy those things alongside ordinary Japanese people. I promise that the JTA will roll out Visit Japan promotions in the Indian market more proactively in the future. However, to promote human exchange through tourism and strengthen our relationship, public-private collaboration is essential. In closing, I would like to ask for the cooperation of everyone gathered here today. Thank you very much.
India to share his thoughts.
Your Excellency, Mr. Shigeki Kubo, Your Excellency, Mr. Takeshi Yagu, Mr. Matsuyama, Mr. Devendra Singh, Mr. Hiromi Tagawa, Mr. Subhash Goyal, ladies and gentlemen, हमारे हिंदुस्तानी भाइयों को अगर एतराज ना हो तो मैं थोड़ी देर जापानी में बात करना चाहूँगा। Minasama konbanwa. Ware wa Buddha nao kuni kara kimashita. Endo wa etsimo Nihon wo sonkei shiteimasu. Komakata maru wa Endo no dokuritsu ni yakudachi mashita. Is it okay for my Japanese Tokyo Saihan de Endo no Part Hanji dake ga Nihon no mikata wo shimashita. Akira Kurosawa, Toshiro Mifune, Mizoguchi, Nagisa Oshima, Yasunari Kawabata ga Watashiu Soudate kare kuremashita. Ima no kodumota chiwa Dorae Monga da iski this. Kyo watachi tachi wa minasama wo Indo ni sho otai shini kimashita. Indo niwa subarashi golf course mo arimasu. Indo deva tegaruna kaka kude saiko leberu no shujutsu wo ukeru kotu mo dekimasu. Watashi wa saishin no Indo wu Indo wu minasama ni otsutae shitai to moimasu. We value your friendship, the friendship of the Japanese people very much. I was not supposed to be in India today. I was supposed to be in a foreign country to represent India. But His Excellency the Ambassador said, can you cancel your trip? I consulted my seniors, I cancelled my trip to be with you. Because we value the friendship of the people of Japan, may we send lots of tourists to Japan, but lots of tourists should also come to India. Thank you very much. Arigato gozaimasu.
We're more Japanese here than Indians. That was good. I may now request Mr. Takeshi Yagi, Ambassador Extraordinaire and Plenipotentiary of Japan to India, to make his address to the group. Thank you.
Namaskar, good morning, and Ohayo gozaimasu. Mr. Dewan, Secretary, Ministry of Tourism, thank you for your attendance. It seems that I have forced you to cancel your trip to a very wonderful country and to attend today's forum. But I really appreciate your efforts and also your efforts to talk in Japanese language. And of course, Mr. Kubo, Commissioner, Japan Tourism Agency, and Mr. Matsuyama, President, Japan National Tourism Organization, Mr. Tagawa, Vice Chairman, Japan Association of Travel Agents. He's kind enough to visit India already for the second time since I arrived in India 2 years ago. and Mr. Goyal, President, Indian Association of Tour Operators, Mr. Prasad, Chief Operating Officer, The Passage to India, Mr. Chadha, General Manager, Hotel Association of India, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very pleased and honored to be here with you to offer my hearty congratulations to the Forum for Promotion of Public-Private Cooperation in Tourism on the occasion of the India-Japan Tourism Expo. I have to say that I wish the weather was a little bit better today. For the Japanese tourism, 2013 was an epoch-making year. Mr. Kubo has already mentioned that the number of tourists visiting Japan has surged and has reached the figure of 10 million visitors. And for another, I have the pleasure to announce that, to announce again that Mount Fuji, one of the scenic beauty of landmark of Japan, was listed by UNESCO as the cultural heritage last year. And furthermore, thanks to the support of countries throughout the world, actually including India, Tokyo was elected the city to host the 2020 Olympic and Paralympic Games. So Japan now stands ready to enthusiastically welcome foreign tourists. Japan has a unique culture of hospitality that we call omotenashi. In fact, many foreign tourists recognize our hospitality as the best in the world. Tokyo, Osaka, Kyoto, and Hiroshima are already well known in India. But you can also enjoy the beauty of Japanese scenes and experience our hospitality all over Japan. And today I would like to allude to a couple of specific points. First, about the misunderstanding surrounding costs in Japan. Japan has long had the reputation as the country in which prices are said to be the highest in the world. And I'd like to stress that this is no longer the case. Prices in Japan are now very modest, if anything, very cheap if you choose the right place. For example, when I go back to Japan and take lunch in Tokyo, it usually costs less than 300 rupees. And more tourists are coming from the ASEAN countries. So now we can say that the cost is no longer an obstacle to visiting Japan. And secondly, we can accommodate various dietary restrictions. There are many Indian restaurants, even in small cities in Japan. So we have already accepted a lot of tourists from Muslim countries too, particularly from ASEAN countries. So the food is no longer an obstacle or barrier to Indians. And thirdly, of course, you can avail of excellent, perhaps the best traffic systems in the world. You can take a ride on a bullet train, Shinkansen, and you'll be surprised to find the comfort of Japanese railway services that is punctual, clean, and safe. I think this forum is an invaluable opportunity for Japan and India. Mr. Kubo and Mr. Matsuyama and Mr. Tagawa are all here, and their presence demonstrates the commitment of the government of Japan and the Japanese private sector to promoting tourism between Japan and India. Mr. Kubo has already mentioned a number of tourists between India and Japan. Of course, these figures are increasing, but I have to say they are relatively modest, particularly taking into account the size of our economies and, of course, the size of our populations. At the same time, the overall economic relations between our two countries have been really flourishing. I'll just give you one example. the number of Japanese companies operating in India has surged from 926 in 2012 to 1,072 in 2013. This is an increase of about 16% in 1 year. So I think a strong basis for further tourism exchanges is already there, and there is a huge catch-up requirement. So we really should tap these assets. In closing, I hope this public-private forum and the India-Japan Tourism Expo will be a great success, and that the friendship between Japan and India will continue to expand. Thank you and have a nice day.
May I now request Mr. Ryoichi Matsuyama, President, Japan National Tourism Organization, JANTO, to make a presentation on initiatives and current status of the tourism policy in Japan. Thank you.
Please wait, the screen is coming down. Briefly touch upon global tourism trend, and also after that, what is the current situation and the initiative where the Japanese tourism going on, and thirdly, I briefly touch upon the India-Japan tourism situation through using this slide. Firstly, I'd like to briefly touch upon world tourism trend. 2012, historically, that is an epoch-making years for our tourism industry that exceed more than 1 billion international visitors globally, among the 7 billion population total. This is the first time ever. And also, another remark is this international visitors yearly by average 3 to 4% increase steadily. And thirdly, remarkable growth of Asian market. Then now 2010, it cost about 22%, but I expected by 2020, 26% globally. And the next point is economical contribution for tourism industry. According to WTTC, about 9% of GDP is come from tourism industry, as well as total employment is almost same percent. This is quite a significant economical contribution from tourism industry globally. And the second so-called trend is one is expansion of middle class and increase of consumption. According to European Monetary International, middle class number in Indonesia from 10 million to 80 million by 2020, and also Malaysia from 20 to 30 million, and here in India, 30 million to 340 million persons by 2020 as a middle income. And another significant trend is a new demand created by expansion of entry by low-cost carriers. And in ASEAN countries, about 13 companies for LCC, and also in India, 7 LCC is already on. That means more free-to movement is now come across globally, especially in this Asian area. And then next, I'd like to briefly touch upon what is the current situation of Japanese tourism. In 2003, under the Koizumi administration, we launched Visit Japan campaign that invite many so-called international visitors to Japan. At that time, the total incoming is just about over 5 million. Then since then, according to this trend, last year, as Commissioner Kubo mentioned, we first time ever achieved 10 million target. But according to this, there is always up and down. In other words, tourism industry is very, very vulnerable for natural disaster and also economic stagnation. Like 2011, we suffered a lot because of earthquake and tsunami, and we suffered a lot in terms of tourism. But taking this opportunity, I'd like to express my sincere gratitude for Indian government and the people of India to support us. It's a very, very confidential. Then, since then, we recovered, and we achieved 10 million last year. And current situation of this Japanese tourism industry is categorized that expanding global market, which I already mentioned, but competition among global is very, very getting severe because everybody invited foreigner to my country. The competition is getting very, very severe. This is one trend. And another one is a rapid increase of foreign independent travelers. That means more group so-called travel to free individual is now very, very significant trend. And the third one is, as I said, that China, Southeast Asia is now expanding rapidly. And because of so-called technology improvement, like internet, special media, and mobile tools is very, very influential for this tourism industry. We cannot neglect that. We have to utilize on this new technological devices and tools. And then next is a Japanese situation by market. As you can see from 2003, when Visit Japan campaign we started with just over 5 million, and the last year just over 10 million, almost double the figure. And by market-wise, on the right side, Korea, Taiwan, China, USA, Hong Kong, Thailand. Then it consists about three-quarter of total market. And among them, Thailand is comparing last year to a year before, about 74% increase, very, very significant increase. But in case of India, where Mr. Commissioner mentioned, last year 75%, that is 9% increase. It's a fairly good increase. But if you look for Vietnam, in 2003, 47 from India and 17 from Vietnam. But last year, 75 from India, but 84 from Vietnam. This is the facts, but there should be something wrong. Then we have to work together. And the next so-called situation of Japanese tourism situation is that in terms of brand image for tourism, we are very good reputation. According to the Future Brand by Country Brand Index, Japan enjoyed third position in so-called globally overall. In terms of tourism, Japan always competing with Italy, #1 position. Then last year we are the second, so-called in good image for tourism. And segmentally, attraction is the number one, food is third, and the shopping is the fifth position in image. And also, according to the World Economic Forum, including business, Japan ranked about 14th rank, comparing 22nd the previous year. In other words, it's a good, you see, result in terms of brand image. But on the other hand, the right side, actual number of visitors to Japan is aware of the 33rd position, and also among Asia, about 8th position. That means that there's a huge gap. Then we have to fill the gap, and this is our major mission, to fill this gap. In other words, Japan is a very nice country, then sometime we have to go. Then we have to change Japan, let's go now. These are our mission to achieve at this moment. And then, next is a so-called tourism initiative in Japan. Here we just summarizing Abe administration's economic policy. That, as you know, we normally said lost 20 years. That means last 20 years, okay, we reached certain level of economic growth, but since then, almost stagnated. No increase, no growth. That means we worried about what happened here. Then, about 1 year ago, Abe administration take a chair, and then he clearly pointed out Japan revitalizing strategy. In other simple words, Japan is back. Then we are now doing according to this concept. Then there are three major things we call three arrows. One is aggressive monetary policy, and the second is a flexible fiscal policy, which we did almost 1 year continuously. And then this is quite a significantly good result. Because of that, so-called stock market, more than a 50% increase comparing last year. Then further, this is a very, very important, which now Abe administration is really fighting with, is so-called economic growth. How to do that? Then to do that, we have to restore the confidence of private sector, and also to change some expectation to the action. This is what Abe administration is fighting with. This is seriously. Then to achieve that, he pointed out 3 action plans. One is unlock potential of private sector, because private sector do by freely by themselves as they wish. This is one way. And the united effort means we join together, like we all say, all Japan effort, not individually effort, but all Japan, and create new frontiers. This is a third action. It's a bits and pieces, so many details, but I omitted this one. But among this, tourism is one of the very supportful weapons to achieve this economic growth, to restore the confidence of Japanese people. Then the next slide is among this, like just summarizing what is a so-called strategy related to the tourism. And here we just summarizing the total travel expenditure 2010 about 13 billion US dollar, but 2030 we're aiming for 47 billion US dollar, and also 10 million foreign visitors by the last 2013, which we achieved, but 30 million by 2030, and also Asian #1 international convention host country by 2030. This kind of target we have. Then how to do that is now we are under review. Then by middle of this year, we will do new action plan to achieve, for the time being, 20 million international so-called visitors, together with how to achieve quality of tourism. Then for this, I just briefly explain what we are doing is that we are aiming for 20 million visitors in very near future. Then for that, we have about 3 measures. One is enhancement of tourism quality. That means, as Ambassador Yagi mentioned, we are very, very hospitable people, very kind people. And also, we call omotenashi, but this is good. And also, according to the survey, about 90%, 90% as a foreign visitor to Japan satisfied the Japan trip. And also, nearly 90% visitor also would like to come back again, in other words, for repeat. Then we have to sustain this kind of trend and more so-called strength. Then for this, what we are doing is Japan brand enforcement. That means if you have Japan, let's encourage them, okay, let's go to Japan. Then how to do that? Then we have to do it, not ourselves, but all Japan initiative should be here. Then for the concept, we are now seriously considering, but one idea is cool Japan, fusion with tradition for such. That we have to very focusing Japan brand image. And also targeting is one is wealthy and the middle class, which now middle income people is increasing. And the third one is for future generation. I mean, backpacker and educational travel, which is for investment to the future. And as for area-wise, up until last year, we focused Asian market. This is the 40th anniversary of friendship and cooperation with the ASEAN, and it's very, very successful. We're about 50% increase a year-on-year basis for last year. It's quite successful. But from this year onward, to achieve this 20 million, we expand the market and we focusing potential market. Then India is one of the very, very strongest target for this potential market. Then we like to do every effort to increase from India and also two-way traffic. And then second one is MICE. This is a meeting, incentive, convention, exhibition. This also competition is very, very getting severe. And according to our statistic, in the Asian MICE market, about 10 years ago, we had about 50% of share of total Asia. But last year, only 27%. Then we have to do something here. Then we are aiming for #1 by 2030, this year. And the third thing is create foreign visitor-friendly environment, which now we are strongly promoting this area. That means if a visitor comes to Japan, there's a freely to visit in Japan without no hassling. You know, how to achieve. This is our very major challenge at this moment. Now for that, there's an information center we have to upgrade. And also like Wi-Fi, we still have a very challenge. And also ATM for cashing. And also visa facilitation. And also another challenge is a language barrier for foreign visitors, which now we are doing very, very heavily to try to increase this area. And then next is, as Mr. Commissioner Kubo mentioned, what is a so-called two-way tourism between Japan and India. Then 2012, about 70 visitors could come to Japan, and also 220 from Japan to India. In total, this is less than 300,000. But from Japan to outbound, it's almost 18 million. But from India, outbound is, I understand, more than 15 million outbound. In total, 33 million outbound from both countries. But among them, only two-way, exchange is 300,000, less than 1%. I think that this is something wrong. As a Secretary Diwan mentioned, that after the independence of India, we have a very good, relationship and respect each other. And also, like Judge Bar, we appreciate for that. And also, significant effort is last November, state visit of our Emperor and Empress. It was, I understand, heartily welcomed, which we Japanese people appreciate very much so. But actual exchange is a very, very minimal. Then we have to do something. Then for this, tomorrow, as Mr. Kubo, Commissioner, mentioned, we have a governmental level of memorandum of understanding for cooperation for two-way tourism here. And then I think this way, and because of that, I think tourism is very, very important to achieve mutual understanding through people-to-people exchange. But I think, as Ambassador Yagi mentioned, there's about 3 major challenges which we have to cope with. One is a visa facility. These are both ways. But for my case, this is my 6th times of visiting India and twice in the Taj Mahal. But I get the visa for this conference visa just 1 day before I depart because of some sort of a bureaucracy here. I think this kind of thing has to be improved. Otherwise, no intention. Okay, let's go to India and enjoy. But the visa facility, both ways, we have to work together and make it easy. And the second one is connectivity of air. Okay, and, Japan Airlines and NA is trying to increase the number of connectivity and also capacity and also Air India, but still quite low comparing Thailand. Thailand is more than 450,000, and because of that, they have quite many chartered flights using LCC. But there's still plenty opportunity. And also, third one is a perception gap. But Ambassador Yagi mentioned, cost is too expensive. But actually, there's an affordable Japan here. But you can get nice lunch less than $10. Very nice easy facility there, but we have to promote this affordable Japan here to change perception gap. And then next is a promotion of Indian market. Okay, we have so many bits and pieces, but briefly speaking, we'd like to promote awareness of Japan as a tourism destination is one thing, and to promote motivation to go to Japan now. And to do that, we have to promote how to go, where to go, what to do in Japan. This is our mission together with your cooperation. And also, as for the promotional contents like a shopping, natural attraction, which Ambassador Yagi mentioned, we have a lot of attraction, but I'd like to challenge as for the honeymoon destination and also incentive trip from corporation to Japan. These are still not so-called well received. And then as for the promotional thing, like advertisement, joint advertisement, and farm trip, and the travel mart, like Satet and OTM, we're now heavily doing here from now. As I said, we do very heavily involve this market as a potential market to fostering mutual understanding each other. And then next slide is just showing what we did in the past, like daily travel mart and the Mumbai travel mart and also Facebook. And also joint promotion with Mercury and Kony and with a local so-called company. And also farm trip like Miss Diza, Taya, Mizura, and very famous actors, Bollywood people with fountain already. And finally, I'd like to touch upon quality assurance system for tour operators. Then we launched Tour Quality Japan. That is, we'd like to promote safe and worry-free quality trip. For this, we appoint our land operator for this Tour Quality Japan. Then if you arrange Japan trip through land operator, please think about to utilize the land operator acquire this certificate. This will prove this is a safe and worry-free trip to Japan. Okay, I think that's all about it, and I'd like to express some contribution to the panel discussion afterward. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Daichi Matsuyama. May I now invite Mr. Devinder Singh, Economic Advisor, Ministry of Tourism, India, to make his presentation. The topic of the presentation is Initiatives and Current Status of the Tourism Policy in India. Thank you.
His Excellency, Ambassador of Japan, Secretary of Tourism, ladies and gentlemen. Basically, I'll be covering the overall tourism scenario in the country, what are the activities MOT is trying to do, and what are the latest initiatives which we have taken to promote tourism in our country. The main objective of the tourism policy of Government of India, which we adopted in 2002 and still continuing with that, is to position tourism as a major engine of economic growth and to harness its direct and multiplier effect for employment and poverty eradication in a sustainable manner by active participation of all segments of the society. The 12th five-year plan, which is underway at this moment, the main objective is to promote faster, sustainable and more inclusive growth in which tourism is going to play a major role. Tourism is one of the largest employment generator in the country. In 2002, the share of tourism in GDP was 5.83, which has gone up to 6.77 in 9-10, whereas the share of tourism in employment was 8.27, which has gone up around 10.17 as per the global trends. As far as foreign tourist arrival in our country is concerned, of late we are not having a very rosy picture. We had a growth rate of around 11%, 12% in 2010, which has come down to around 4.1% in the last year. In terms of foreign exchange earnings, we are, in absolute terms, we are going increasing our kitty, but because of in the foreign exchange market, the rate of growth has come down and it is around 2.2% in 2013 as compared to growth rate of 27% in 2010. We have a robust domestic tourist visits in our country. You can see from this slide that as against 563 in 2008, we are more than 1,036 million visitors having domestic visits in our country, which is showing around 20% growth as compared to last year in 2012. Now I will come to what we are doing in Ministry of Tourism. Basically, our activities can be classified in these four categories. We are basically into tourism infrastructure development in the country. We are trying to promote and we are in the promotion and marketing of tourism. We are in human resource development in travel and hospitality sectors and facilitation of travel trade. I'll just give some idea about these activities. We provide central financial assistance to all state governments for development of infrastructure for destination and circuits. This central financial assistance is 100% grant which we give to the state governments. For promotion and marketing of tourism, we are running centralized campaigns in both in electronic and print media, and we are doing it under the brand name of Incredible India. We have foreign overseas offices for these activities, basically which are doing participation in fairs, exhibition and events, business interaction with the tour operators, publicity in local media, including outdoor branding, fam tours leading for tour operators, media and opinion makers. A new international campaign called Find What You Seek, which was launched in 2012, which basically see what you are trying to see, you get it in India. I have some pictures, I'll just show you. So this is, if you want to go for a swim, there is a place there. If you want to go for wildlife, we have tiger sanctuaries. We have wildlife in, this is Kana. If you want to go to, you have to see backwaters, we have Kerala. If you want to go to Andamans, if you want to see some sea beaches, we have Andamans. Enjoy unspoiled nature, spoil yourself, find what you see. We are also into domestic campaign for promotion of tourism. There was a campaign called Go Beyond, launched for promoting lesser known destination in 2012. It basically means that if you are going to one place, then you also go beyond that, which is a lesser known place, so that tourism as a whole is promoted in the country. A little beyond in India, you know, lies another India waiting to be discovered. So get up, be adventurous, go forth and explore more. So these are the things. If you are going to Kana National Park, then if you are going to, this is I think lake, yeah. This picture is not coming from that. If you are going to this Mathura, go to Siriska. We are also having some special efforts we are making for promotion of tourism in Jammu and Kashmir and northeastern region of the country. A new film on J&K was made recently. Browsers for northeastern states were made recently, and we also had International Tourism Mart in Guwahati, January 2012, and recently in Tuam in Arunachal Pradesh in October 2013. In human resource development, basically the idea is to meet a huge skill gap in the hospitality sector, and for that we have adopted a multi-pronged strategy to strengthen the institutional infrastructure for training and education in the country. We have IITM Gwalior, which has functional centers at Bhubaneswar, Noida, Goa, Nellore and Kakinada. We have 21 central institutes of hotel management. We have 15 state IHM which are functional and 15 new IHM have been sanctioned. We have 7 food craft institutes which are functional and 50 food craft institutes have been sanctioned. This broad basing of hospitality education is basically sought to be achieved through 14 universities, 7 government colleges, 26 schools, 4 polytechnics and 24 industrial training institutes. We have a scheme called Bonus Se Rozgar SRT, which was launched in 2009. Basically, this is an initiative to create employment through skill development, and this is basically meant for the lower state of the society. And this scheme basically covers age group of 8th or 10th past students of 18 to 28, and courses offered in this scheme are basically food and beverages, services, food production, bakery and housekeeping. And we are expanding the scope of SRT. Now we are including some new niche areas under this training program. Tourist vehicle drivers has already been initiated. Masons for heritage conservation we are trying to do. Wellness service providers we are trying to do. Golf caddies already started. Homestay owners already started. This is basically in Leh and Ladakh. Tourist facilitators already initiated. And we are contemplating to provide